You've probably thrown away a perfectly good grill. I'm not guessing. Around 10 million grills get hauled to the curb every year in the United States, and the overwhelming majority had nothing wrong with the frame, the cart, or the firebox. The only things that failed were a few cheap stamped steel parts on the inside that the manufacturer spent about $4 on at the factory, parts they knew would rust through in 2 seasons. Parts they were counting on rusting through, because that's how they sell you the Nexgrill. So why do we keep falling for it? I spent an embarrassing amount of time digging into this. I pulled Amazon sales data, read years of threads on BBQ Brethren and the Virtual Weber bulletin board, and looked up the actual metallurgy behind why one burner tube lasts 18 months and another lasts a decade. What I found genuinely ticked me off, and I think it'll tick you off too. If you own a gas grill that costs between $150 and $400, there's a very specific $20 to $40 Amazon order that will probably add 8 years to its life. And if you own a Kamado or a Pellet grill, there's an equally cheap fix that almost nobody does. I'm going to walk you through all of it. Open up your grill lid and look at the parts sitting above the burner tubes. Those tent-shaped metal pieces are called heat plates, sometimes heat shields or flame tamers. Their job is to catch grease drippings and vaporize them before they hit the burner, which is what creates that smoky flavor. They also distribute heat more evenly across the cooking surface. On a grill from Char-Broil, Nexgrill, Dyna-Glo, or Walmart's Expert Grill brand, they're almost always porcelain-coated, stamped steel, or thin aluminized steel, and they are the first thing that dies. Every single time. I personally think this is the most underrated reason people throw grills away, because you lift the lid, see rusted out heat plates with holes in them, and your brain just says, this grill is done. It's not done. Those plates were designed to be disposable. The grill behind them is fine. They fail within 12 to 18 months because they face direct flame from below, acidic grease drippings from above, and constant thermal cycling. The porcelain chips, exposes bare carbon steel, and rust eats through in weeks. Your burner tubes die next, usually year 2 to year 4. Budget grills use stamped aluminized steel burners with crimped seams instead of welded ones. Grease and salt collect at those crimps, breach the coating, and the carbon steel corrodes outward. Once burner ports rust open, you get uneven flames and eventually gas leaking where it shouldn't. That's a safety issue. And here is the part that should make you angry. The cart. The frame, the firebox, the lid, those parts on even a $200 grill will last 10 to 25 years. The structure was never the problem. The manufacturer put cheap $2 internals inside a perfectly decent frame, knowing you'd blame the whole grill when those internals failed. And it works, because 10 million people a year drag a structurally sound grill to the curb and go buy the same thing with the same cheap parts inside it. The fix costs less than a bag of premium charcoal. You swap the OEM parts for aftermarket 304 stainless steel. The reason 304 works so much better comes down to chromium. 304 stainless contains 18% chromium, which forms a protective oxide layer on the surface that regenerates when scratched or damaged. It literally heals itself. Aluminized steel can't do that. Once the aluminum coating cracks, nothing stops the rust. 304 also contains 8 to 10% nickel, which resists the organic acids in meat drippings and handles temperatures up to 1600 degrees, way beyond anything your grill produces. Quick insider tip. A magnet test tells you a lot about stainless steel quality. If a magnet sticks, it's 430 grade or lower, 0 nickel, less corrosion resistance. One catch though. The magnet won't catch 201 stainless, which substitutes cheap manganese for nickel and is genuinely inferior. Stick with the brand names I'm about to give you and you won't have that problem. The aftermarket parts ecosystem on Amazon is surprisingly mature. A Char-Broil Performance 4-burner full refresh. Burner tubes, heat plates, and crossover tubes runs $22 to $35 from Uniflasy or Hisencn. Nexgrill 720-08. 30H, 20 to 35. Expert Grill 3-burner, 15 to 25. Dyna-Glo, 25 to 40. Add cooking grates and you're at 40 to 90 total. Compare that to $250 or $350 for a brand new grill with the same cheap parts inside. The brands to look for are Uniflasy, Hisencn, Hongso, Utheer, and Qulimetal. I've spent too long reading forum debates about which is best. The consensus from forum veterans is that Uniflasy and Hisencn probably come from the same factory with different labels. Both are solid. Hongso passed the magnet test for genuine 304 at $14 to $18 per set. Utheer has 900 plus reviews on several kits with a 4.9 star store average. And Qulimetal is considered the best of the affordable brands by the Weber restoration community, thicker gauge steel and better dimensional accuracy. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe. I cover grill and outdoor equipment, deep dives every week. Now, Kamado owners, your weak point isn't burner tubes, it's the gasket, and that felt strip where the lid meets the base. OEM felt gaskets last a few months to 2 years, and pizza nights above 500 degrees destroy them fast. Big Green Egg recommends replacing roughly every 2 years, but the Kamado forums have been quietly passing around a hardware store hack for over a decade, and it's one of my favorite things I found in this research. You buy a roll of Rutland woven fiberglass stove gasket rated to 2000 degrees, pair it with Permatex Ultra Copper silicone adhesive. Total cost roughly $15. Forum users on the Big Green Egg boards have reported a single Rutland install lasting 10 to 12 years. One guy posted that he installed his in November 2009 and it was still performing perfectly. $15. That's less than the shipping cost on some OEM replacement felts. Last thing, and this one might save more than your grill. If you own a pellet grill, you need a firepot cleaning schedule, and you almost certainly don't have one. Every cook leaves ash in the firepot. That ash mixes with grease and packs into flammable sludge. When it builds up enough, it either smothers the igniter so the grill won't start, or it catches fire. One guy on BBQ Brethren, who was cooking 2 to 3 times a week, found a 1/4 inch of packed crud in his fire pot that erupted into flames and cracked the paint off the back and sides of his grill. Traeger explicitly states that fire damage from ash buildup is not covered under warranty. That is straight from their support page. The fix takes 30 seconds. Vacuum the fire pot before every cook with a shop vac. Deeper clean of the grease tray every 4 to 5 cooks. Full interior wipe down every 20 hours of cook time. Do those 3 things and your pellet grill will outlast the warranty by years. So here's the simple version. Look at your grill. Is the firebox intact? Is the frame solid? If yes, it's worth saving. Check the price of a stainless steel burner and heat plate kit for your specific model on Amazon. If that cost is under 50% of what a new grill costs, and it will be, order the kit. 20 minutes with a screwdriver, $40 instead of $300, and the replacement parts will actually outlast what came in the more expensive new grill. Your dad's Weber kettle from 1997 is still going because the fundamentals were always good. Your Char-Broil doesn't need a funeral. It needs a $30 organ transplant. YouTube thinks you'll like this video, so click it. And if you made it to the end, subscribe.